everyone, and welcome to a new video where I present to you Pointy Mountains 5 stars. So let's jump right in. So as you can see from the start, lovely 2 Yeti statues, one here, one here. I'm sure the visitors appreciate when they enter, but here it is. This Pointy Mountains ended up being my fancy finds museum. Obviously you start out with 0, and the first thing you have to do is take out a loan. I myself decided to take out the cheapest loan. It ended up working out for me very good in the end. I'll explain why when we get to that. Would I suggest fantasy as the main thing for this to start with? Probably not while you have your loan. The reason being, when you have expeditions here, they cost 5k and 8k. They're quite expensive to start with. Whereas if you go to, like, say, prehistory, 1k, 3.2k, I'm sure 2.c is the same. Yeah, 1.5k, 3k. So it does make it harder to actually get money, but I did manage. Obviously the museum started as a very small rectangle, a ticket booth, and the 2 first exhibits you get fantasy finds, which I think was this one, the fantasy statue, and this one, the mimic. You also on this map start with an epic version, he is now pristine, of the frozen capers. So all 3 of them got put down behind the ticket booth, random decor just to get it to 5, and donation bin, knowledge sign, and that was it. And then obviously put a staff room, some toilets, and yeah, we just went on from that. During the first steps, they do ask you after a while to take out sponsorships. I always suggest, cheesy gubby plushies, they're great. I also often put down the Mudbury Festival sign, because you can actually hide it behind decor and it doesn't look too weird. So yeah, those are 2 good ones, and they make quite a good amount of money. What is in the first star? The first star, the hardest thing is to get the average monthly profit to 8k for 3 months. This is where taking the cheapest loan did help me out, because the loan was paid out quicker, thus I was not losing the 2.8k anymore and was able to then go on more expeditions, bring back more exhibits, and started making the profit, and thus getting the first star. So that was quite good. Then, obviously, what is the second star of this map? Completing 3 marketing campaigns. That's easy, and is actually going to help with get 5 guests with knowledge of 50. If you have problems to get 5 guests to knowledge of 50, you come to your marketing campaign and bring in either professors or yetis. You're naturally getting a lot of yetis with this map, so I would suggest professors. That way each of them, like this wonderful Yeti here, they provide extra knowledge to guests, which then help. And you get the 5 quite easily. 25k in donations of frozen finds. Just to make it go a bit quicker, I went to go and get a few extra ones that fitted in this little decor. And get a museum of level 20. I didn't even really think about that, and that just came by itself. So 2 stars, not too difficult. 3 stars. The 3 stars was providing 5 different guest types for their dream visits. Little by little, just looked at the fantasy finds ones, and it was quite easy to get them. Average guest happiness above 85. That generally just happens by itself. Museum level again. But then the hardest part of this star, have 150 guests at the museum. Oh my god, that was difficult. I was always lingering at even here you can see I only have 148. I was always lingering at 120, 130, and it's like, oh come on, get to 150. I then realised, because I was sort of doing the general museum campaign just to get a few more, wasn't helping. Which does help though, is families. Families, obviously they come as groups of 3 and 4, so puts a number of visitors up, and it did manage to got that, and then, well, we went back down under 50, but we got the 5 stars. So that was good. What was 4 stars? 4 stars. During the 4 stars, you got this wonderful thing here, the lovely crystal exhibit. If this is not a Final Fantasy reference, well, you tell me what it is. But God, that's such Warriors of Light Final Fantasy reference there. Have a tour with that with a full rating. They're very easy to get. Provide a Yeti Elder with their Dream Visit. I can't even remember what their Dream Visit is. Dream Visit. View 10 exhibits with 3 of knowledge. Well, as I always get everything up to max, they're pretty easy. What else? Average guest environment above 90. Well, once I can build my museums, I always like having them look good. So, what's the environment here? 100%. Ah, that was easy. Museum level 40. Yeah, 4 stars was not difficult. What was the 5 stars? Obviously, Defrost, our wonderful guest. Spoiler alert. Where is it? I think I've got him on tours. There he is. Look at him. The wonderful Darwin Charleston. Unfrost him. He's now on tours because I think he started with it and, well, yeah, just do that all the time. 10 guests with 3k buzz. Not a problem. Guest 25 with 400 knowledge. Probably more difficult. Same thing as last time, but this time getting more Elder Yetis, because I think they give much more. I think if we look at you next to one. We don't have it yet. Elder Yetis give +2. Normal Yetis just give +1. So yeah, same time as last. Just go into your marketing and then bring in Yeti Elder campaign and bring these people in, and you'll get it in the end. So yeah, that's how I got to 5 stars with the general hardest things. Let's now have a little look at this museum. So obviously, it didn't look like this. As I said, it just started with the 4 lovely rectangle, but then we started building the entryway, made a little decor outside, little ticket booth that we made a bit dungeony. So yeah, that's quite nice. And then either they could go into the little, what I would call, I guess, random area with always the same Broderick's bust. What do you do with this? And Jasmine sings. So yeah, random stuff. You can have a bit of fun with the King's Ring, or if you wanted, you could go into the Frozen exhibits area. Made this a little cute area. I don't need more, I think it looks good. In the middle, obviously your facilities, cafeterias, toilets, wonderful map guy because you need it for one of the random objectives. I then, in this museum, made a little lovely gem area, show off some of the gems we made in this museum. He's sleeping on the job, clearly. Yep, you should get back to work. Thank you. Our little crystal. I always like making cafeterias with a window on the exhibits, so I always find that quite cool. We have our wonderful ogres. Come on. Baldur's Gate 3. You know, those 3. I put the wonderful, I think it was Wishdale I went for, their things next to it, like, hey, the ogres destroyed this place and coming to loot the runes or something. We have our lovely little goblins, our dice. I know 20, I can't remember what 20 did, but I rolled 19 and boost guest donations. Thought that was pretty good roll, left that. Our little hub area has sort of like dragon tapestry, dragon tail, just the middle bit's more random and sort of the exhibits that I don't find match with anything specific, so, but it makes a cool little hall. We then have this area. This is like what you find in dungeons, you know, you find mimics, you find goblins and gold, and hey, your flying carpet. These are like things you could find in a dungeon, so we made a little dungeoning area. We then have our lovely dwarf mines. Yeah, we'll ignore that, eh? I made a little like mine thing, left the sort of like geodes before they're refined, and then built the machine. I tried to stick them next to each other just so it's like, hey, these 3 make this work, that makes this work, and then I just left one of the things on it because I thought it looked good. So yeah, little dwarven area, like that. We then have our little botany area with the lovely little tower. I put the devilish door here. I still haven't put cheese in front of it, and I probably should. I went to go and get a different botany thing just to sort of make this area look nice. And what I find quite fun with this is I decided here, hey, sneak peek, goblin ghosts. I thought they fitted well in the little botany area. Yeah, I found this quite cool. Go behind the trees and you can see the goblins. So yeah, pretty happy with that. What other area? Here we have our equipment room, which clearly some equipment is on staff. Let's take all this off so it looks a bit better. There we are. So yeah, all the equipment room, this wonderful eye looking at us. They like doing that, don't they? Then we have our little dungeony area. So it's sort of like fight the dungeon leaper, and then you can view the wonderful ironic throne, which we know what this is a reference to, don't we, people? So yeah, made a little dungeony area. This thing was huge. Once I built it, and it was like, oh my god, I need a whole room for this. So it's got its own whole room. Afterwards, let's go this way. We have what I would call the like little castle room. You know, they can come and get their armors. This is some of their loot. They've got their like, hey, this is what we fought the dragons with. They've got their like closet to get their clothes. Mage has his thing, their round table. So yeah, I would call it like the castle room. Try to give it a bit of a theme. We also then, I was trying to decorate a bit outside. Our lovely aquarium with our wonderful fish person. Yeah, why not? Our wonderful swordfish. So yeah, this is literally only an aquarium with only fantasy finds things in it. Full to the brim, I think. Yep, full to the brim. So yeah, little aquarium area, looks nice. And last area is obviously our dragon den. Dragon bones. I added another mimic. I don't normally add two of the same exhibit in a museum, but here it fitted, dragon gold. And it looked good. I have some, I put some eggs down, hey, it's the dragon eggs that never hatch, so yeah. The good old ending room, dragon room. And then I haven't expanded more. I've left it at this for the time being. Probably if I go for more than 5 stars, I've got a whole plot to unlock. I guess I didn't mention, I always put, putting the staff area outside. So yeah, they have their own area for themselves. And so people don't go, I block them all off with doors, staff doors, so they can't actually go out. Visitors can't go out here, can't come here, but staff can. So yeah. And that, basically, people, is my Pointy Mountains museum. Fantasy finds. It does work out. You can manage. Do as you wish. Go at your own caution. I like it. I hope you like this little tour and how I managed to get through some of the things. I'll see you in another video. Bye bye.